like to call our meeting to order at 6 o'clock and declare that we do have a board quorum present. If you'll please stand, we're going to have Pastor B.L. George from New Birth Church in Freeport come and lead our invocation. And then we'll have Leah Jackson from the Brazos Success Academy come and lead us in our pledges of allegiance. Pastor George.
Wow, what an honor. Father God, in the name of Jesus, we thank you for this day. We thank you for loving us, and we just want to love you back. We welcome the presence of your spirit in this room right now. We thank you for those who serve in this community, this city, this region, Father. Father, we thank you for every child right now, Father. We ask that you will bless this time with fellowship, bless this meeting, bless every family, bless every home. Father, let angels watch over this meeting, these families right now, Father. And we just thank you for your amazing grace and your goodness. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. And now the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now the Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Thank you. I'd like to ask our board members to make their way to the front, and at this time I would like to turn the presentation over to Mrs. Carla Christmas.
Good evening, Superintendent Massey, Board President Howard, board members, staff, and our guests. Tonight we have much to celebrate in our awards, achievements, and recognitions. Our first award this evening will be presented by our Assistant Superintendent of Compliance and Data Quality, Mr. Ron Redmond.
President Howard, Vice President Schwartner, Secretary Atkins, and fellow members of the Board of Trustees, districts and campuses that receive accountability rating of A, B, or C, or D are eligible to earn TEA distinction designations. Distinction designations are awarded for achievement in 7 areas and are based on performance relative to a group of campuses of similar type, size, grade span, and student demographics. Distinction designations are awarded in the following areas: academic achievement for English language arts and reading, academic achievement in mathematics, academic achievement in science, academic achievement in social studies, top 25% comparative academic growth, top 25% comparative closing the gaps, and post-secondary readiness. The BISD Board of Trustees voted in the spring of 2018 to approve paying incentives to professional and support staff at any campus that earned a distinction beginning with last year. Professional staff received $200 and support staff received $100 per distinction earned. This year, BISD campuses earned a total of 31 distinctions, as you can see on this graphic, which is more than we will recognize the 11 BISD campuses that earned 1 or more distinctions in 2019, and I would like to invite the principal to come forward as I announce the name of each campus. Gladys Polk Elementary School, under the current leadership of Mr. David Rayburn, earned a distinction for public Velasco Elementary School, under the leadership of Ms. Margaret Meadows, earned a distinction. Ms. Meadows is joined tonight by Maria Espinoza, the principal of Freeport Elementary School, whose school is paired in the state accountability system with Velasco, and whose staff, and I think this is important, whose staff works collaboratively to support the Velasco students. In other words, they finish their day and they head over to Velasco to help the kids that they once had at their school. Stephen F. Austin STEM Academy, under the leadership of Mr. Brian Brooks, and ELA. Clute Intermediate School, under the current leadership of Mrs. Tara Fulton, earned a distinction for top 25% comparative academic growth. one for post-secondary readiness. Lanier Middle School, under the leadership of Mrs. Bridget Perkle, also earned 2 distinctions, one for academic achievement in mathematics and one for top 25% comparative academic growth. Lake Jackson Intermediate School, under the current leadership of Dr. Tricia Sang, earned 2 distinctions as well. One for top 25% comparative academic growth and one for top 25% comparative closing the gaps. Freeport Intermediate School, under the leadership of Mr. Ian White, earned 6 out of 7 distinctions. One for academic achievement in science, one for academic achievement in social studies, one for top 25% comparative academic growth, one for top 25% comparative closing the gaps, and one for post-secondary readiness. The next 3 campuses we will recognize earned all 5 distinctions for which they were eligible, which places them in the top 4% of all elementary schools in the state of Texas. Isn't that amazing? Bess Brannon, which earned all 5 distinctions for the 3rd consecutive year, received an A rating in every accountability domain, which places them in the top 2% of all elementary schools in the state. That's worth a hand. Boyle Elementary School, under the leadership of Mrs. Laura Morris, earned distinctions for academic achievement in reading, academic achievement in math, top 25% comparative academic growth, top 25% comparative closing the gaps, and post-secondary readiness. Roberts Elementary School, under the leadership of Mrs. Jennifer Neighbors, earned distinctions for academic achievement in reading, academic achievement in mathematics, top 25% comparative academic growth, top 25% comparative closing the gaps, and for post-secondary readiness. Last but not least, Bess Brannon Elementary School, under the leadership of Mrs. Julie Evans, earned distinctions for academic achievement in reading, academic achievement in mathematics, top 25% comparative academic growth, top 25% comparative closing the gaps, and post-secondary readiness for the 3rd year in a row. For the accomplishments of their students and teachers.
Carla, Anita.
We'll get books and stuff.
All right. Mr. Reinhardt, come right here. Mr. Reinhardt.
Oh, you guys screwed out behind me now.
Mr. Atkins, if you come down here. Oh, that's perfect.
Okay.
Excellent.
First row in. Nobody wants to go see us.
Does that work?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
And I'll take 2. And are your certificates all, yes, you good.
They-
Yes.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, and a second. 1, 2, 3. Anybody else want
Thank you. You were a great job. That's right. Our next recognition will be presented by the Assistant Superintendent of Elementary Academics, Mr. John Rattel.
Good evening, board members, Superintendent Massey, students and parents. On Saturday, April 13th, students from BISD schools participated in the annual Name That Book Challenge. During this competition, students read books from our district Great Texas Mosquito List, studied for months, and worked as a team to answer questions about the plot, characters, and settings of the books. This exciting competition brought out the best in our students It is my sincere pleasure to present these awards and recognize all of our students' hard work and their accomplishments. In the 5th and 6th grade divisions, please join me in honoring our 3rd place winners from Stephen F. Austin STEM Academy, Sierra Hardesty and Carter Wilford. And in 2nd place, from Lanier Middle School, please join me in recognizing, although there were several contestants, only Jacob Nardle could show up tonight, so please welcome Jacob to the stage. And our 1st place winners in the Name That Book Challenge, coming from Rasco Middle School, are Brianna D., Ian Dolgoski, Kennedy Unger, Truman Vogue, Peyton Wilbanks, and Kayla Smith. Representing their schools, librarian Leanne Food. Please give them a round of applause.
Might let us group these together a little bit more, Carla. I'll take 2. 1, 2, 3. Here's my second. 1, 2, 3. Now, any parents?
Parents,
please
come on up and take a
welcome.
picture. Keep smiling. It's the paparazzi. Thank you, Our next recognition will be presented by Chief of Staff and Governmental Affairs, Mr. Brent Jacobs.
Good evening. We are excited to recognize Audrey Kilsby, a Grady Rasco 5th grade student who was selected to participate this past summer at the prestigious University of Texas Dallas National Youth Leadership Forum Pathways to STEM Summer Camp. Audrey had the opportunity to fuel her creative and academic success with practical achievements that will help her stand out in her school and community. The camp developed skills in leadership, team building, communication, setting goals, and solving problems. Audrey participated in hands-on challenges designed to help strengthen her understanding of each of the STEM strands and enhance her collaboration, communication, and problem-solving skills. BISD wishes to congratulate Rasco student Audrey Kilsby for her selection and participation in the National Youth Leadership Forum Pathways to STEM Summer Camp. Congratulations, Audrey.
All right, wait, Sharon.
That thing loaded.
And now we move to some grown-up recognition. Our next presentation will be the Assistant Superintendent of Administrative Services, Mr. Jay Whitehead.
Miss Brenda George, would you please come join Mr. Massey here at the front? State Board of Education established the Heroes for Children Award Program in 1994. The award recognizes Texas residents who render selfless acts of service by offering their time, effort, and support to public schools and students. Ms. George, Brazosport ISD's nominee, is the founder of the Teen Suicide Prevention Program, STOP, which stands for Stop, Talk, Overcome Pain. Early in 2018, Ms. George saw a great need for young people. Within the span of a few months, Brazoria County experienced 14 attempted suicides by teens. By mobilizing family and friends in the Brazosport area, Ms. George established the STOP initiative and organized the first community STOP rally to educate students and their parents on issues facing teenagers today. Ms. George continues to work to reach students in schools districts across Brazoria County. Last year, the STOP program was held in 4 districts, and this year, 8 districts will hear the message, "You are not alone. There's a plan and purpose for your life. Suicide is not the answer." Only 15 out of 1,031 school districts in Texas had someone selected in the 2019 for the Heroes for Children Award, and one of our very own, Ms. Brenda George, was recently named a 2019 Heroes for Children Award recipient. Congratulations, and thank you, Ms. George, for your life-saving dedication.
Next recognition will be presented by our Director of Career and Technical Education, Mrs. Jessie Jennings.
Good evening. Both Brazosport and Brazosport High School state-winning welding programs were recognized by the Speaker of the House, Mr. Dennis Bonnen, through the State of Texas House of Representatives Resolution 1614 and 1602. A House resolution is a formal expression of opinion or decision other than a proposed law that is offered to honor or recognize an individual or group for outstanding efforts, contributions, and/or endeavors. Resolution 1614 and 1602 recognized BISD educators Mr. Jimmy Craner and Mr. Richard Junkemeyer, along with their 2018 and 2019 students for their outstanding efforts in the Technology State Association TSA state competition. BISD thanks Speaker Bonnen and the State of Texas House of Representatives for this prestigious recognition. Here with us tonight on behalf of Speaker Bonnen is District Director Nancy Woolham, and on behalf of the Brazosport High School Welding Program and team is Instructor Mr. Richard Junkemeyer, students Walker Kershaw, John Cole, and Kenny Stahl, and from Brazosport High School is Welding Instructor Mr. Jimmy Craner.
back in October with a lot more setting the standard across the state.
At this time, in accordance with BED local, the board will provide an audience with individuals who have signed up prior to the meeting to address the board. Tonight, we do have one request, Mr. Brian Casey. Sir, floor is yours.
Good evening. I appreciate the opportunity to be here this evening. My name is Brian Casey. I taught at Brazoswood High School for 31 years in the band department. And, I'm retired now, but I still bleed blue and really proud of all the great things that are going on at Brazoswood and around BISD. I've seen the plans for the new building across the street. It's very exciting that we have a nice new school going in. The plans look amazing. So as we begin construction of the new performing arts complex, I believe that we have an opportunity to honor a BISD legend, someone who has brought, someone who's responsible for bringing more state and national recognition to our district than anyone else. Jimmy Cook was director of bands at Brazoswood for 26 years. During that time, he was responsible for 26 UIL sweepstakes awards and numerous state and national recognitions. Upon Jimmy's retirement, he served on this board, as you know, and even as president, and continues to give back to the community in many ways to this day. I was speaking with someone the other day about the rules, and it used to be that someone had to pass away before you could honor them. And I'm happy to report Jim is still alive and well. And, Jim always believed in a well-rounded program, and there was success in the concert band arena, the marching band arena, jazz bands, winter guard, the percussion program was very well known. And many of Jim's students, including a couple of kids, board members, are still actively involved in music, perhaps not as a profession, but as a hobby. There are also many former students all over the world in numerous arts disciplines, including theater, TV, dance, and instrumental and vocal music. So I would ask tonight that you share my vision for a Jimmy Cook Performing Arts Center at Brazoswood High School. Thank you very much.
The next item we have on our agenda is our consent agenda. Are there any items requested to be pulled from the consent agenda this evening?
Yes, I'd like to consider pulling item C for a little further discussion.
Okay. Are there any other items to be pulled? Are there any comments from the public? Hearing none, then do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda list, item C?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Dunn, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Atkins. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed by nay. All right, that carries. Thank you. Next item then we will have are our action items. Our first action item this evening is action item A, the nomination for the Appraisal District Board of Directors. Dr. Kelly.
All right, good evening. In accordance with Board Policy CCH Legal, it is my pleasure to present a recommendation for the Board of Trustees to consider a nomination for the Appraisal District Board of Directors. Appraisal districts are governed by a board of 5 directors, each serving 2-year terms beginning January 1st of even-numbered years. Section 6.03 of the Texas Property Tax Code provides that each taxing unit in a county appraisal district is entitled to vote may nominate by resolution 1 candidate for each position. Brazosport ISD is entitled to 1,165 votes for the 5 directors to be elected. Each taxing unit must submit their nominees to the Chief Appraisal before October 15th. By October 30th, the Chief Appraiser will prepare and submit to each voting unit a ballot listing the nominees. Before December 15th, each voting unit must cast votes for the additional candidates on the ballot, for the candidates on the ballot, and submit to the Chief Appraisal by written resolution. The unit may cast all of its votes for 1 candidate or may distribute the votes among any number of candidates. Before December 31st, the Chief Appraiser counts the votes and certifies as winners the 5 candidates who received the largest vote total and notifies all taxing units and all candidates of the outcome. It is recommended that the Board of Trustees consider nominating Gail Robinson, who is a local realtor and is currently a director for the appraisal district. She would be serving her 4th consecutive year, and approve the attached resolution as recommended and reviewed by administration. Happy to answer any questions.
All right, do we have any questions?
Do we have more votes this time?
Yes,
What game go to?
our tax base has gone up.
So we can pretty much select one.
Yes. And so the current board, actually, the 5 represents all of the areas in which the appraisal district serves. And so Gail is the one in our area, so by allocating all of our votes to her, we ensure that we have a representative of our area on the board.
It's a rigged election. It's called.
Carter staff.
Yeah.
So we're almost to the point we could probably allocate our votes and get 2.
Are there any other questions, Ms. Kelly?
I'm moving that we approve the nomination of Gail Robinson and approve the attached resolution.
It's been moved by Mr. Atkins. Are there any public comments in reference to this item? All right, hearing none then. It has been moved by Mr. Atkins to accept Gail Robinson as our nomination along with the attachment. Do I hear a second? All right, we have it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed by nay. All right, that carries unanimously. Thank you, ma'am. You're staying?
I am.
All right, and our next action item is action item B, the Citizens Bond Oversight Committee related action items.
All right, the following is in accordance with Section CH Legal and in alignment with the district goal that BISD will exercise fiscal responsibility to ensure financial strength and provide the resources to equip and maintain quality facilities and educational programming. In June 2012, the Citizens Bond Oversight Committee was established by the Board of Trustees to provide oversight for the 2012 bond program. CBOC shall be comprised of 15 members approved by the Board of Trustees, and they meet on a quarterly basis. On June 19th, CBOC met, and tonight I have 2 action items that require board approval. The 2012 bond allocated just over $40 million for technology and maintenance improvement, and as presented to CBOC on June 19th, $39.3 million worth of purchase orders have been issued. The original scope and intent of the 2012 bond, as approved by voters, has been completed. So as approved by CBOC and the Board of Trustees, BISD is utilizing the remaining funds in alignment with the original intent of the bond to continue life cycle replacement. A reallocation of $19,950 from contingencies is recommended to complete storefront door replacement at Brazosport High School. After the reallocation, the remaining contingency balance will be roughly $43 million. The second action item is we have received a new member nomination for Kyle Wilson. He is a BISD graduate and a degreed construction manager, and he is also the son of Kirk Wilson, who is actively involved in BISD by serving on CBOC and treasurer of the current treasurer for the Education Foundation. So it is recommended that the Board of Trustees approve the 2012 reallocation and the new member nomination as presented and approved by the Citizens Fund Oversight Committee. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions? Any questions from the public? Any comments?
Move for approval on both items.
All right, it's been moved by Joe. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Dunn. Second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed by nay. All right, thank you. It passes. Thank you, Ms. Kelly. Our third item on our action items, action item C, are for the items pulled from the consent agenda. So we have item C.
That's me.
Mr. Atkins.
Yeah, I just want to double check, make sure, and highlight the fact that, this is the curriculum audit for TASA, from TASA, and it's, basically it's to see where we are, and I think the staff, I will thank the staff for the potential future work coming up, because I know it's a lot, all the paperwork and everything like that, so I realize that. So I've been pushing for this, so just glad that we're ready to move forward and take a look at it. We did adopt the budget without it, but I was assured that it didn't continue.
Here it is.
So there we go. So we got it. And Mr. Cole, I understand, will be the liaison. Do we have any thoughts or any ideas of where we may stand on the 5 standards? Do we think we're fair, medium, good, excellent?
We believe we're in a lot better shape than we were 8 years ago when it was done.
Oh, I hope so.
It was 8 years ago.
If we're not, we all should be out of here.
And as you know, it is a deficit audit. They're not going to highlight the good things
Right.
we do. They're going to point out the things that, And instead of calling it a curriculum audit, we chose to call it a district audit because, as you know, it audits much more than just the curriculum pieces. It audits also HR, administrative services, board policy, student services, financial, business services. So it really is a district audit.
Well, I guess the way I've read it, it audits the services that are related to the curriculum.
Mm-hmm.
So, I know the curriculum audit had a bad name on the first pass, but it needed to because we needed it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward to seeing where we are. So I think it's a good deal. So with that, I will make a motion that we approve item C.
All right. Do we have any comment on it before we vote on it from the public?
I think you're lined up.
All right. It's been moved by...
Kick the door.
It's been moved by Jerry, seconded by Joe. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed by nay. All right, that carries as well. Thank you. Next item that we have on our agenda are our reports. We have Report A, the bond planning at Brazosport and student at Boston STEM Academy construction update. Ms. Rebecca Kelly.
Well, good evening again. The past 3 months have been extremely busy for the construction and planning department, the planning and construction department, and we are excited to be able to share the progress of Brazosport High School and Stephen F. Austin STEM Academy replacement project, which were approved by voters in May of 2019. If you remember, or as a reminder, at the June board meeting, I presented an update on the 2019 bond project. These were the 2 images for Brazosport and Stephen F. Austin. In June, July, and August, we're very busy, and so we're excited to be able to share some of the progress that we've made. The Beewood Fieldhouse is weeks away from going out to bid. The construction documents are being finalized, and then our construction manager, Stuart, will take it out to bid. A guaranteed maximum price will be ready for board approval in October. We will need to have a special meeting in October, so on October 28th, we will award the contract so that construction can immediately begin. The schematic design for the main campus and CTE building are complete, and we have spent 8 days with Brazos with teachers and staff on design development. The site plan is still a work in progress as we're waiting on the traffic study and the drainage requirements. The floor plan is still being reviewed for mechanical, engineering, and plumbing needs and overall efficiencies. We are also actively working with Stewart Builders on a construction phasing plan, as this will be a multi-phased complex project. And then at the June board meeting, I showed the video of the Brazos Wood launch, and so we have since completed the Stephen F. Austin launch in July, so I'd like to take a minute and share that video. Last week, September 5th, it was completed, and we'll begin design development with the SFA teachers and staff in October. So at this time, I'd like to turn it over to Monica Castillo with BOK Architects. She's going to provide you some in-depth information on each of these sites.
Good evening. I'm sure you already know who I am. My name is Monica Castillo with BLK Architects. I wanted to take a moment to introduce Todd Hanger. He is a designer for the high school, and so we're going to share with you where we are now. As Rebecca said, we've been working really hard for, she said 3 weeks, but I feel like it's months, okay, I missed that. Okay, so, give me my pointer. Okay, so here we are, and currently this is Dixie Drive with Brazoswood Drive down here. The major components are the field house right here, which, as Rebecca mentioned, we will be going out to bid within the next 2 to 3 weeks on that. We're finalizing our construction documents. We have a senior high right here that is being constructed between the existing athletic wing and the existing senior high campus down to the south of that. And you kind of see that in red really lightly there. CTE is planned currently for this corner of the site, and that will be a standalone building with CTE components, with, I think, with the exception of one, which we decided to keep in the main campus. Currently, we're still waiting on a traffic study. That will really help us define which drives need to be separated. We have an idea, but traffic study will tell us exactly which way parents want to come, students, how to keep everything separated. As we've been going through the design of the field house, we are adding some additional parking here closest to the field house, mostly for athletic students, so they'd be closer to the field house since it is quite a distance from the high school. There will also be additional staff parking right by the field house for the coaches. Across the street, you'll see here with the building that's number 3, that is going to be your existing CTE facility that will be converted to district technology. And in addition to that, there will be some athletic improvements, including some additional lockers over at the baseball field, a new scoreboard at both fields, and some other minor renovations to the existing facilities there. So as I said, this is the floor plan of the field house. And so one of the things that everybody kept talking about that was the major concern is making sure that we had boys and girls separation within the field house. And so this is where we have provided a entrance on the school side for the boys and then one for the girls. And the way the floor plan is set up is this here in purple that you can see, that is what we would call the girls' wing, and that's where all the girls' locker rooms are. This blue section is where the boys' locker rooms are, and they open up into this hallway with the football locker room adjacent to them in that darker blue area. The main entrance to the building is down here on the south side with an administrative area here. We have a trophy room here, and that would be a room that has display cases, so you can be displaying some of your trophies and awards and so forth. You've got the main hallway here that connects all these corridors from the weight room, and the weight room right here that's kind of centered on the actual field, on the football field. Up to the north here, we have a match room for wrestling, and then the trainer suite down in this area that is, open to the field as well as has access here in case anyone were ever to get hurt. It has easy access, street access. On the second floor, we have a meeting room with some of the coaches' office up on the second floor, and the athletic director's office is also on the second floor. There's an outdoor observation deck that looks onto the field, onto Slade Field. Here are some exterior images of what the field house will look like. We are still trying to finalize some of the details and so forth, so that way it can go out to bid. This is the south elevation, so as you're coming in as a parent, this is the south, the main entrance of the building, and this is the girls' entrance into the girls' locker room area. This is the observation deck on this end. You can see the column. And the area over the that central spine hallway is a double tight space, and then the second floor obviously is right there adjacent to that. This is the front view of the face facing the Slade Field, and currently you can see this outdoor deck out so it's a covered deck. This down here is the weight room that looks onto Slade Field. Currently, we're still trying to design a screen that would come and screen those windows for the sun, from the sun. And so right here is the main entrance again. Now for the high school. We worked hard on this, so we tried to really stay true to what we heard in the launch. And so what's come out of that right now is we have a main entrance along this curved wing here. And so as you enter, there is an LGI, a large group instruction here that can be used for students. It can be used for parents or visitors, just large groups that, would need to use that area. Then along this side is actually there's two components of CTE. One is the Arts AV, which is right here in front. And then there are other, everything in blue is kind of your academic classroom. And you have some fine arts sprinkled up here in the front, which are the art classrooms. And then here at the end are the aquatics classrooms. The concept is that it has an open kitchen dining area, or a dining area, with adjacent kitchen behind it. And so it kind of opens up, if there's no closed doors, it's open that people can kind of be walking freely through. Currently there's a social stair right here, and so one of the things that we heard was that a lot of the students like to spend their time in the library during lunch. So right above this area here will be the part of the media center, the library. So as you come in, there is a security vestibule right here with all of your main admin in this orange area. Again, back here, there's some more classrooms, some core classrooms. And then we have special ed classrooms in this area. Part of the CTE educational classrooms are in this wing, which would be very close to special ed. And so those are just adjacencies that as we worked with the groups, they thought that would be really important to have there. Then on this area, all in purple, is your fine arts area. So you've got cheer and dance, black box, classroom, your band halls down right here, choir, orchestra, and your new auditorium right here. So there will also be a theater entrance that is along this front entry of the auditorium. Here in the back is the main student entrance. And so one thing I did not note, let's go back here, even though we're waiting on the traffic study, our plan right now is that the bus lane would be coming over here and have a loop here that they can drop off students here. So it would be senior high that would be dropped off here and ninth grade. And so if you're staying in the senior high area, obviously you would be in here. And if you're going to the ninth grade, then you could cut through the building back to here. And on the CTE, there is some service yard in the back of it. We'll get to that in just a sec. So this is the second floor. And so, as I mentioned, the media center is here at the end. And it will be, the circular part would be a two-story area. We've got a maker space and a multi-purpose room. And again, as I mentioned, there's this stair, this social stair that leads down into the first floor in the dining area. So if kids don't want to stay in the dining area, they can come sit here on the stair, have lunch there, or they can have easy access to the library if they want to spend their lunch period in the library. So here on the second floor, as you see in blue, all these areas are classrooms, academic classrooms. There's admin spaces that are kind of sprinkled through each floor. We've got design suites for the actual teachers, as well as we have AP suites, which include counselors and so forth. That would be on each floor. And this is the third floor. And again, this is open to below for the media center, more classrooms, and again, your AP suite here and a teacher design lab here. So this is the CTE building. And so culinary, your ag shop, your architectural construction shop, your manufacturing shop, and your STEM lab. And so the STEM labs, the way they have been designed is they would have operable partitions through some of the classrooms so you can open them up and have larger areas in case they ever had a workshop or a competition, that they would have more than one class in there at a time. Your vet tech is here at the front. We're designing it so that if someone wants to come in and drop off their pet, there will still be a secure entry in this area. The blue areas here are classrooms, and so you have your labs, and then adjacent you will have classrooms. So on this side you'll have your floral classroom, and these here are the classrooms for these two manufacturing shops. This is designed so there is an open lobby, if you will, or area that if you wanted to have, events there, it would open up into this culinary area. And this is like a bistro that would open up, and so you could have social events in here as well. On the second floor, we have the IT classroom here. Health science is this whole area here. So we've got 2 labs and then other classrooms that support that. And then up here, business. Sorry about that. Then we have business labs in here as well as classrooms adjacent here. And so, as we're still designing it, we have not started developing in great detail the exterior of the building. So this is kind of what we have been charged with as far as the launch. That was the image, our character sketch that launched. And so as we move forward, this is kind of our goal, to get the building to look as close to this as possible. So this is Stephen F. Austin. And so these are the boards that came out of the launch as the result. This is the launch board, kind of our partee, if you will, kind of relationship diagrams right here. And this is the floor plan that was presented on that second day of the launch. So as we move forward through this, this is our new construction plan. And so we would have one bus loop over to the west on this side with the parent drive and drop off here, right in front of the school. This is going to be the walking trail, and during our last SD meeting, they really requested that the walking trail stay amongst the trees. So that's been our goal right here. Back here will be detention, and then playground to the south of the school. So this is going to be a 2-story campus, even though it is smaller just because of limitations of the site. It's going to be 2 stories. And as we worked with the teachers and staff over at SFA, we learned that their 5th and 6th graders are special in the school, and so we wanted to give them a special space, and so that's on the 2nd floor. They're called, I think it's called the Swamp. It's currently their special place. So the way this plan is laid out is the main entrance is up in the front, and with an administrative area here with a secure vestibule. The classrooms are off to this side, where we have pre-K and kindergarten here at the front, closest to the front of the school, 1st and 2nd along this horizontal wing right here, and then 3rd and 4th down south. We've got a stream lab and a wet lab down south with easy access to the exterior of the building. What was also very important to this community is that they have a lot of community functions, and it's kind of like the hub of the community. So the way this has been designed is that we have a large covered patio area to the front of the cafeteria, and this here in red is your cafeteria, and operable partition between the cafeteria and the gymnasium. And so the stage that opens up into the gymnasium will also have visual access to the exterior, and then there will be another covered area on the back of the stage, here at the back. So the second provide a learning stair coming out of that deck onto the first floor. And those are some of the images that we presented during our launch. That's the front of the school, that main entrance, as well as the covered area. And that's all I have. Are there any questions?
We have questions?
I've got a question on the high school. As far as the size, what is the student population that we're planning for?
So we're currently planning for 2,800, and that is including the ninth grade center.
Pretty close to what we're at right now.
No, we're at 2,300 right now.
Okay.
A little over 23. Any other questions?
Yeah, on the field house, I know we're early and a little later on the school, but are we going to try to match materials as far as exterior?
Yeah, so we did have our first materials meeting, and so what Todd has looked at is really looking at the ninth grade center and what kind of bricks you have there. And so what we're presenting.
We want to use the ninth grade center as a benchmark for this, do we?
No, but you want to make sure that the
That goes well.
transition
Yes.
from the field house kind of has a smooth
Yeah.
transition into the old brick. And so choosing colors and materials that will blend as you drive around the entire site are important. So
Right.
the materials won't look the same, but the colors are important to make sure that it all blends cohesively.
Right, the ninth grade center is not going anywhere, and you will see it, as you're driving down Bradford. So we are being conscious of that, and so we are also presenting a lot of other colors and bricks, but everything needs to be cohesive and look well together.
Yeah, the ninth grade center's not driving the
No,
colors,
sure.
but we want to make sure that we.
I would try to design away from the ninth grade center as much as
Yeah,
possible.
but we want to make sure that it'll fit in there to where it doesn't look mismatched.
Right.
Yeah, it's not driving the color.
We can't ignore it.
Makes me nervous.
Yeah.
Any other comments?
Yeah, on the field house, I'm looking at the floor plan, bottom floor especially. I'm assuming that other sports is track and field, is that correct? It's listed
Yes.
track and
Soccer.
field.
Is that the boys'
end or is that?
Correct. And
Y'all come on up, please. Yeah. Y'all gonna, yeah, come on up. Yeah.
so in this area right here, this light blue section, are sports other than football, and so, I wish I could see them all.
On the girls' side, we have softball,
Softball,
girls'
soccer.
track, and then on the boys' side, we have soccer,
Soccer.
both boys and girls soccer down there, softball.
Cross country.
Any sport that uses.
Yes, cross-country track, we get turned in the
Right,
same,
the
they're put
field-
into the
field
same
sport.
area.
That'd be other sports.
Okay, my question, the next question I have is the men's sports are on, from the point where they're located, is there interior access to where you have their men's storage?
Yes, sir.
Storage is, up on the top right,
Yes.
yes. From where they are on where it says sub-varsity soccer, et cetera, and their men's storage is.
You're talking about in here, Mr. Reinhardt?
No, I'm talking about up there to the right of the sub-varsity field out, dressing room, that says men's storage, is that for track and field?
Correct, right here?
Yeah.
Yes, sir, there's a storage area for each of the sports.
Do they have interior access, or is that an outside access? Is what I'm
No, this
asking?
Oh, that's interior,
This is an
that's
interior
interior from the
corridor.
hallway.
No,
But it's the access is not from their locker rooms, but it's from that corridor, which is an interior corridor.
okay.
Yeah, right there.
Seems like you have something else you want to say.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I'll be.
How many people is the player meeting room hold?
It would hold 2 classrooms, so,
1,500 square feet.
like I think it's 1,400 square feet total.
Two full classrooms, we can divide it into two.
Correct.
So
50? People, 60?
So,
So about 50.
How many people can go in there?
About 50.
at least.
I mean, you can pack them
It'll
in,
depend
but-
on the
Close
seating
shared.
arrangements, but
Yes.
we'll definitely configure it to maximize the number of players you can get in there for their meetings or for any other purpose that we have in the district to utilize 1,400 square feet. So it's gonna be a pretty great space to have in the district, and so
Right, the
we'll
classroom
provide
setting.
furniture that's flexible to maximize it.
Right, a classroom setting would be 25, but if you had rows of seats,
Yeah, we could put 100
definitely
people in there, we need
access.
to, whatever big percent, we just rows of
I was
chairs.
surprised by the size of that, because I thought we were gonna try to use that for pregame meals and sports banquets and for some of the smaller sports and some of those kind of things there at that facility.
Pre-game meals, definitely, yes, that kind of stuff, meetings for
Yeah.
different groups. Sports banquets should be, we'd have to wait to see, I mean,
I
you
think,
can put
I
chairs
think
like
the
this.
smaller sports, I think the smaller sports absolutely
Should be
could,
able to do it.
cross-country and some of the
Yeah.
smaller ones.
Yeah.
Right, definitely.
I think.
It just looked a little small comparatively, so I didn't know how big, how many people were gonna hold there.
That's 2 full classrooms, exactly what it is. So, I mean, you put rows of chairs, you put 100 people in 2 classrooms, 25 with a desk, 20, and 25 more with just.
Yeah, but if you're gonna go tables, you're.
You put tables with it, then
Right,
you
couldn't be able to.
From experience standpoint, in the showers, are there what is the, have you decided on a count of shower heads? And I'm being serious, this is crucial in the dressing room, when if you have 70 kids going into the shower at the same time. Do we know how many shower ports there will be in each shower?
I know we just,
We did talk about that, because some of them are.
do you have that?
We can get you that, Mr. Unruh.
That's one important item.
They're gang showers.
We had a significant amount of discussion on the on the shower, whether they be gang rest or showers, or if they're individual stalls, and so these guys, as well as some of the additional head coaches, were involved in determining what types of showers and the placement of them. So we'll get you the count.
I've been in enough of the showers to know that individuals aren't gonna work, the gang showers, about the only thing you slide in there, it's not my first rodeo. You gotta have showers.
We did provide some individual showers, and I think that was a consensus for some of the freshmen.
The female showers are the individual showers, like in other places you've seen. And
Freshmen as well.
I think
All football with gang showers.
Yeah, I think those are
The other
Just
sports,
smaller
yeah.
sports that have lunch.
Yeah. We realize we gotta get them back to class. But,
And we ain't getting out.
and also based on how many different sports are down there at the same time. But basically, the gang showers are for football, all those are football. And then the other sports, which is a track, soccer, those are.
Is included in it, is a wider, more durable path part of this?
It is definitely wide. It is not it's not that wide. Yes, I know your cats are weak. Don't cheat us on storage and don't cheat us on hallways, okay? That's the first.
I'm talking about the main building,
Yes,
the field house.
that was the first instruction, storage and hallways.
I think he's talking about this path.
So walk.
I'm
Oh, the
talking
walk
from
to get there,
school
to
building
get there.
School building to the,
Yeah, so
that's
we do.
important.
We will have a walk, and it will be close to the existing one here, except it will be redone as a concrete paved pathway here, and then you will have
Covered?
sidewalk.
It will have to be covered.
Has to be covered.
Yeah,
Currently, it's not covered.
but
It will be covered.
we talked about the weather problems getting
Yeah.
done. Yes.
Well, I mean, we go there all day long, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it will be covered. So as we construct the field house, the area between the field house and the senior high will be the laydown yard for the actual construction to happen of the senior high campus. And so that pathway will not be opened up until after the senior high school is open. So we will cover that walkway as part of the completion of the senior high campus.
Just do like a, did a Dickinson making money.
Hurry.
I'm just gonna make another comment on this ninth grade issue, exterior issue. I would much rather paint ninth grade campus or do something to the exterior of it than to try to match, blend, smooth transition into our brand new, pretty new campus. So I don't know what that costs or what that's involved, but don't limit yourself as architects or as design from a campus standpoint on
a 20-year-old building that we put up, right? So,
Yeah, we'll provide you some.
don't limit us to a brown building, just because we have a brown building now on the campus. It's not gonna be seen by anybody. It's gonna be covered up by a 3-story building in front of it.
We tried to
It's
find
just-
some
it's
closely
just-
blue bricks, but we weren't.
I don't, but if we have to tear the bricks off and put new bricks up, I'd be in favor of that. Just don't limit us to that color and that.
There
Make
will
it
be,
pretty.
there's gonna be multiple colors, multiple textures, and so it is important to make it cohesive,
It's
and
of
so.
very little importance to
And
that.
we are
because
still
we're building a
finalizing-
brand new campus for next 50 years. We don't want to be limited by something, a choice that was made 20 years ago on a campus.
Go back up the field house, the exterior one. And so you can see there some of the color selections that have been made.
I know, that's what I was afraid of. That's why I was asking the questions. I think we're just trying to match the brown brick on the 20-year-old campus that, quite frankly, is not very appealing right now. And so, I mean, this is a one time to get this thing right. And I don't want to be limited by a decision that was made 20 years ago, whether it was done properly or not done properly at the time. I think we have one chance to make this the most unbelievable campus. Let's don't limit ourselves. Don't put ourselves in a hole just because some decision that was made 20 years ago that we decided brown wasn't what we're going to go with.
Well, we're still early on, like I said, we've had one
Don't
meeting,
limit yourself.
and so we will definitely take that into consideration.
There's other ways to freshen up an old campus than to limit ourselves on the brand new.
Picture stuff, there's no brown brick, okay?
All right.
That's what we call cherry,
The cranberry flat.
cranberry, a light tan, and a dark. So the contrast doesn't show there like it really is.
I've seen what they've done on their other buildings, and it's been very impressive. I love all our campuses that we're doing, right? And I think we've got a lot of great different textures and colors and things that we've done on all these other campuses. I don't want us limited on our new state-of-the-art campus to something that was done 20 years ago on a 9th grade campus. That's not even going to be seen by anyone ever, because the backside is covered by awnings that you don't see. And then the front side is covered by gyms and now the 9th grade campus. So don't limit yourself. And that field house is going to be a showcase, right? That's going to be the first thing everybody sees. They're not going to see the school first. They're going to see this first. Right? This is going to cover up from Brazos.
She grabs your.
Just let you know.
I think she's got it.
Please do not limit yourself.
We
on this.
appreciate your feedback, that's
Yeah.
why we're here, and that's why we're gonna keep
Yeah.
you updated along the way,
That's,
so.
Yeah, well, we started off with a darker color based on some of y'all's feedback from what we've done at the other campuses, so we didn't want it to look industrial white.
Yeah.
So we started with a darker color, not because of ninth grade, but because, because of your feedback on the prior campus, yeah.
Any other comments?
Can we look at the academics? The third floor, it's hard to read here. What, are those science labs primarily, I mean, potentially?
Potentially, yes. Currently, they are shown as science labs. One of the things that we've been considering is moving the science lab to this area here on the second floor. Like this.
I'm sorry, could you?
This area here on the second floor, there's some classrooms there. So currently, we are exploring moving the science classrooms into this area here, this kind of L-shaped area down here.
Are any of these like connecting or, opening up? Or they're just a classroom, right?
It's a classroom lab combo.
Okay. And the first floor is tentatively scheduled for what kind of class?
Well, currently what we're showing is math classrooms on the first floor. And the second floor is a English language arts classroom, so they have direct access into the library.
And then the CTE, those have some expandable areas for labs and stuff like that?
Yes, the CTE building.
Right.
Yes. So currently right here, I believe this is rocketry and robotics on this side. And so these doors right here would be like operable, like glass partitions that would open up into this whole lobby demonstration area. And then I believe that there's access between these two classrooms right here.
And then there's a second level, right? With the health sciences.
Yes.
Okay. So how much square feet for the CTE? Do we have a best guess?
86,000.
Whittle.
Right now, we're continuing to review that for MEP and other efficiencies.
Right.
So it's where we are today.
Yeah. And that'll be a covered walkway to that as well.
Yes.
What is the target completion date for the field house?
Mid-August. Construction?
Next year?
What?
No. Repeat your question?
Complete target
Completion of the
date
CTE
for.
building.
No. He said a field house.
The field
Field
house.
house.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were talking about.
He jumped in on me.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So,
Yes, mid-August.
we will not tear down the existing field house until the new field house is open.
Coach Jones, get you guys ready to move washing machines and dryers and stuff. We did that once. Wouldn't have been 1 year in now.
We better not move anything.
So we put lockers, washers, and dryers there. That's what they're in there back.
We better not.
Brand new.
We better not move any existing stuff.
Yeah.
Throw it away.
Right, I'm not aware of any
You guys
items that
still.
are being
Throw it away.
relocated.
Yeah.
Lone Star Auctions.
Well, I was
So back
saying.
to my CTE question. From the health science group, that, we have a lot more room than we do now, right?
Correct.
Good, okay, that's, okay.
The only other thing I'm gonna say is putting these guys in a bind mid-August is put them in a bind. Hopefully we can work ahead and get it done early because mid-August is gonna put them in a real bind, trying to be ready for everything that's going on.
Maybe we can stop the rain here.
Yeah.
Whatever
Might
it
help.
takes.
Any more comments from the board? Yes, sir, Mr. Atkins?
You said there's a bistro area, but it's not like a formal bistro.
No, it's part of the classroom.
Okay.
How big's Fine Art gonna be?
The entire fine arts?
Like the auditorium.
The auditorium, I believe, is 960.
And that'll all be a separate entrance over there for them.
Yes.
Lobby area, too?
Yes.
Parking or?
So here's the lobby area for the auditorium, this area right here. And then, go back to the site plan.
Is that just one big level, or is that gonna be two level, or the seating?
Well, there'll be what I consider a level and a
Step
half, so
down.
the control booth will be kind of on a separate level, but, the auditorium will be on one level.
It'll be very similar to Brazos Port layout.
And so, right now, you can see there's parking in this area adjacent to the auditorium where the entry would be right here.
Any other questions from the board? Yes, sir.
Did we solve Mr. Montoya's question
Yes.
about, going from,
Traffic.
the traffic?
Yeah,
crossing traffic?
yeah,
Okay,
that's
going to the,
really good, that they're currently crossing the traffic to get to practice in the bus lane and to load their buses, and so, they did an excellent job, I thought, of designing the traffic.
So the bus will come this
yeah.
way. There's really not access here except for loading for the band or fine arts area. We are relocating the band marching practice pad to this area right here. So when they come out, they're just coming straight out these doors down the sidewalk into the street.
Will there be
do we have a number of overall parking spaces with what we have now?
So currently on this plan, I believe there's right under 900 parking spaces, but there will be, ultimately, I believe we're probably going to have about 1,200. So we're still waiting on the traffic study to get all those drives in and then figure out exactly where all the parking is going.
This will be, I guess, to you, Rebecca, since we're assuming, it appears we're leaving tennis where it is.
Yes, sir.
Are we gonna build them restroom facilities, et
Yes, we
cetera,
are.
there?
Yes.
And
That's
we're
part
gonna
of-
have access for them to park there if they need to?
Yes.
Good.
So we haven't started that design of that facility yet, but it will absolutely include a better facility for the tennis players.
Include lockers and things for them?
Yes, sir.
Is the outdoor eating, that's what kind of weird, but, outdoor eating area, is that part of is that counted in the seating capacity, or is that just extra feel-good seating?
Well, I believe we reduced the number of seats here by a little
So therefore, will it be covered?
Yes. Yes. This area right here is the outdoor seating area, and that is covered.
I guess that could be used as a meeting.
Moving that.
And you indicated that there's learning stairs in both this design and Stephen F. Austin, correct?
Correct. Well, in this design right here, it's adjacent to the dining area. So that was really in response to so many kids going to the library. And so what we've been calling it for this high school is a social stair, because we really see it as that's where kids are going to be congregating and eating. And Stephen F. Austin, it would be the teaching stair.
From your architectural expertise and et cetera, whatever, is that currently being used in a lot of the schools? I know I was in Frisco and there was one kid on it. So,
Really?
yeah, I didn't know if it had passed its prime or if it's
I think every district and every high school or school that it's in is different, and it really goes to the culture of the school.
Right.
Because there's some schools that we put them in and they use them frequently, and so obviously Frisco is not one of those schools.
Yeah,
And it will help being near the cafeteria too, right?
Yes.
True.
Should, yeah. Should help that.
The stairs were so high I couldn't climb up them.
Yeah. How much room do we have there to build with the F wing there from the existing school? We have to tear down part of that to start building this?
So yes, initially when we were doing the bond planning, we were trying to keep the cafeteria open and functional. The way the design has been progressing, we will need to tear down the cafeteria and the mini gym in order to build the new facility.
But not the current add-on F wing, which is, I don't know what that is, science wing, whatever that is in back there, we have
The
room
only
there?
thing that will be disrupted is the cafeteria and the mini gym.
So we got-
And we're currently working on a phasing plan with Stewart, and we'll be providing that to you probably within the next month. So you'll see how that's gonna all be phased in.
Cool. Exciting.
And for Stephen F. Austin, there's no touching the septic area, right?
There is a septic area.
I mean,
We're not
there is one,
doing
but
it.
it's not, we're not doing anything with the existing use.
Yes, it is being replaced.
Oh, it is, okay.
So,
Yeah, those are left there.
so currently all this area will be the septic system area. It needs to be, the existing system cannot support the new school.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so we'll be replacing it and expanding it.
Okay.
Currently there is a water well here in this area.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're still out whether we're gonna need a secondary, well for the school and the fire sprinkler system. So we're working with that, but there will be, storage tanks for the water. And so that's what you see here, this little black box, is kind of where we plan on putting the storage tanks, and we will be concealing them so they're not an eyesore to the site.
Or an attractive nuisance.
What?
Or an attractive nuisance.
Yes.
That's, people want. So how much bigger is the Stephen F. Austin square feet than it is now? Or is it?
It is larger. I believe, this one is close to 70,000, I think it was 68,000 square feet. I think currently you're at 52 maybe. So it is increasing a little. It has a capacity of 450 students.
Two just random question on Stephen F. Austin. Is the cafeteria covered parking, or covered public area? Is that gonna be like, big doors, open them, indoor, outdoor kind of a situation, or is it just gonna be a exterior, interior door there?
I believe up in the front, we are considering doing some like large
Garage
exterior
doors or
doors.
glass doors? And then on the back side there, it looks like, is there a secondary outside stage as well?
Yes, so here on the south side, there would be kind of like a platform, like concrete steps, if you will, on this end. That's currently what's being planned.
Cool.
It'll be covered, right?
Yes.
That would be covered.
I saw it says covered on here, covered, learning outdoors.
It'll be air conditioned, right?
No, not the outdoor area.
Exciting stuff.
Any other questions? Yeah.
Howard, I would like to especially thank Rita Pintavalli. She has been highly involved in all these meetings. Matter of fact, in the last 4 weeks, she spent 8 full days over here going through every bit of piece of the days, and 8 full days to be off campus, that work, and those phone calls and emails and all the issues that arise there are still waiting on her. So thank you, Principal Pintavalli, for all your efforts being with us.
Any other comment from the public?
So do you like what you see? Yes.
Okay.
You like the color?
The input from the teachers has been invaluable, so I appreciate y'all taking the time to do that.
So Alan, you comfy with this?
Yes. And Scott, the upstairs you're talking about, it's just like Deer Park was. It's the same thing you saw at Deer Park.
All right.
I think that space is gonna be used a lot, it's a great space.
Yeah, we
you know?
plan to use it.
It's gonna be a great space up there.
The next item under reports are board committee reports.
I don't know if it's a committee or not, I've never been appointed to one, so I don't know if we still have one, but in case we do, I'm gonna make one. I've spent a good bit of time with the Leos at Velasco and Lanier. The Leos and the Pearls both. It's amazing to me what young people will do when they're given direction and structure. Officer Brown and Ty Morrow started this. I hope that we can continue to spread this because all our campuses have some students that can really, really benefit from the structure and the program of just learning how to be citizens. And I think it's good. It's also at SFA. They've started out there. You know, anything you start new is kind of tough to get off the ground. But they're doing a good job. And I think, and I know that at Velasco and at Lanier, Leo's has jumped out of the woodwork, and Officer Brown, I witnessed when he told them that I've given y'all 4 weeks to goof off, and now I've got 2 notebooks full of stuff that you've done, and so now we're going to take care of it, and he took care of it. So I think I know Bridget and I know the Market both are highly impressed with it and what's going on there, and hoping, I know Bobby, Officer Brown, wants to really get it off the ground at SFA. It's also off the ground at Clute. Where? Rasco, yeah. At Clute, the lady, Officer Knopp, I think she told me she was trying to do 4 grades, and so that's going to be I think that's what she told me. It's going to be quite a challenge to do that, but anything we can do to support those guys, I strongly, because it's folks that need that. Also, I attended the ambassadors training last week. Great training from the folks that came in to do it. A great response from the teachers that went to be part of that ambassador program, and we're quite fortunate there. End of report, whatever my committee is. Food was good too. That's all I have, Dr. Howard.
All right. Any other reports from the board, from the committee? Any other comment from the public? All right, then our next item on our agenda is our next work session discussion. Our next regular scheduled board meeting is October the 21st. We're going to adjourn into executive. 14th, yes, sir. October 14th and 21st.
And 28th.
And 28th. It'll be a busy month.
You don't want to follow us. Not October.
I've just been chastised. One of the newer members of the board just asked me that when he asked me how things went, and I told him we met one Monday a month, and he said, now we got 3. I said, yeah.
That's the way we get sucker again.
Just one month.
No, he said
I'm just trying to describe it to him. I don't want to. One meeting a month.
Yeah, one time we do that.
Our next item is executive session. Executive session may be called for the purposes permitted by the Texas Open Meeting Act, Texas Government Code Sections 551.001 through 551.146, and Section 551.071, consultation with attorney, Section 551.072, real property, 551.074, personnel matters, appointment, employment evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, dismissal, and complaints. Will return shortly. It's 8:36. We are returning from executive session. We have one action item on our agenda. Action item A, the superintendent appraisal measures. Are you gonna?
Yeah, I'll make a
that?
motion that
Okay.
we approve the superintendent evaluation levels of 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5, and under the included outcome goal number 4 and board constraint number 2, and eliminate the other student performance targets for the superintendent appraisal.
All right.
I second what he said.
It's been moved by Terry and seconded by Joe, and I hope you got all that. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And all opposed by nay. Carried.
Did you want some public comment? What about public comment?
Is there any public comment about that? Would y'all like to discuss?
No, we got to find a public first.
If there are no other objections, then we shall stand